Alright, welcome back to the channel everyone. My name is Scott Adamson, and if you've been following along with our build at all, you'll know that I'm currently building out a 2019 144 4x4 Sprinter van. In this video, I'm going to go about some of the things that when I was planning my van were kind of must-haves to be included in the van build. So let's roll that intro and we'll see you on the other side. One of the first things that's included in every one of my van builds is a toilet. I know this is a bit of a controversial subject. A lot of people say it's not needed, they don't want to have a toilet. I don't know about you guys, I go to the bathroom every day, and if I had to always be searching for where I was going to go to the bathroom, I don't think this lifestyle would be nearly as enjoyable as it is for me. So for me, a toilet is one of the top priorities, must be included in every one of my van builds. Building on that, the next thing is a shower. I really do like having a shower in my vans. I don't use it every day, and it's not 100% a requirement, but it is really nice being able to kind of rinse off and clean up when necessary. It is pretty easy when you're living in the van to kind of get trapped in that dirtbag lifestyle where, you haven't showered for a week, the clothes are getting a little bit, but if you have the shower, you're going to use it. And for me, I like having the shower. So not too much else to say on that one, but yeah, just put a shower in your van build. The next biggest thing for me, and a lot of people sort of overlook this, is your insulation and heat. Again, this is a massive debate on, how to properly insulate vans, whether it's, sheep's wool insulation, polyiso, foam board, spray foam, do nothing. But if you spend time in a lot of warm climates or cold climates, you're not going to regret putting the proper time to properly insulate your van. I have other videos that go fully over, how I insulate the floor. I'll link to those below, and how I went installing, my system. It works great for me. I spend a lot of time in, what's the Celsius to Fahrenheit? About 80 degrees Fahrenheit and down to, minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, and my vans performed amazing. So insulation and a good heat source are must-haves in my van build. The amount of people that I've met, Eamon and Beck, perfect example. I actually helped them install their first S-Bar in their first van in my parents' driveway. Sarah and Alex James, they're people that didn't think they needed a heater at first because they were going to travel to warm climates. But as soon as you start spending time, even in San Diego in winter, you think it's California, so it's going to be warm. But some nights you actually do need the heater. So yeah, I would recommend every van build at least put in an S-Bar D2. They're not that expensive. It's a super easy DIY project, and you will not regret it. The number 3 thing is some sort of power system. I like to use a combination of solar and alternator charging. Depending on how you use your roof, some people will argue that a solar system is pretty expensive and, you're not really getting that much benefit out of it. For me personally, with my lifestyle, charging cameras, laptops, drones, cooking, all of that kind of stuff, I need solar. Otherwise, I would have to run the vehicle too much to charge up the batteries. So for me, I found the solar system to be amazing. If you only have room for, say, 100 watts, it's probably not worth it. But on my last van, I had 520 watts, which was amazing, especially because I was cooking with electric and heating my hot water with electricity. On my new van, I'm probably going to have somewhere around 300 to 350 watts, and I think that's still going to be plenty for, cooking and all the other sort of basic necessities I have in the van. So for me, a good solar system an electric system is a real priority in my vans. The next thing is my plumbing system. I love having a huge freshwater storage capacity. On my last van, I had 40 gallons. On this van, I'm going to have 38. It's a lot of weight because water is about 8 pounds per gallon, but having a ton of fresh water storage really makes it so your time between fill-ups is extended, and you can get more off-grid, more remote, and not have to conserve water as much. So having large fresh water storage, as well as I have a really good water filtration system. I have a 3-stage water filtration system, which does allow me to fill up out of lakes and streams. I mean, I've never tested the water, but I've drank it lots. I've never gotten sick, so I'm assuming the filters are working. Little disclaimer, don't take it from me. These filters aren't the end all be all. but for all of the water I've drank, it's working fine. Another requirement in my vans is tons of storage. Storage. I do a lot of activities. I love to surf, snowboard, mountain bike, hike, all of those things. And each one of those things requires, certain specialty items, specialty clothing. I try to do as much crossover as possible. Inevitably, I need a lot of storage. So between the Thule rooftop box and then a lot of interior storage, to me, that's very important, is having a lot of storage. And I also like storage because I'm a big fan of a clean look. So for me, if it's sort of out of sight, out of mind, it gives it that more cleaner aesthetics, makes it feel more like a home. For me personally, I don't like having stuff sort of cluttered all over the van. I think it looks messy, and I just personally don't like that look. So I like having a lot of storage so everything has its place, and that place is behind a door where I can't see it. If I need it, I can open up the cabinet, get access to it that way. But I like everything to be nice, clean, stored away. Another thing for me in my vans is I love to have lots of outlets. In my last van, a little bit overkill, I probably had 7 outlets, but it was just kind of nice because, I had outlets inside cabinets so I could charge batteries while I was driving. I had outlets on either side of the van so I could charge a computer depending on what side of the van I was sitting on or if a friend was there working with me. I had outlets at the back of the van, so if I needed to plug in an air compressor or something like that out the back, I had it. I had outlets inside my closet, and that's where I stored my little hand vacuum so I could charge that when it wasn't in use. So everywhere just had an outlet, and it just made it super easy and super functional. They're not expensive to buy outlets. Wiring, if you're going to have any outlets, it's not any more expensive or taxing on your system to just put more of them in on the circuit. And since you are charging, mainly just, batteries, cameras, things like that, one circuit's enough. You're not going to overload it. On my last build, I think I did 3 circuits. I did one for all the outlets, I did 1 circuit for the cooktop, and then I did 1 circuit for my electric hot water tank. Windows. For me, a lot of people don't like to put windows in their vans because they're going for more of a stealth build. They're going to spend a lot more time in, I'd say, urban landscapes. So they're worried about people, wondering, are they in the van? So they're trying to make it look just like a work van. For me, I don't spend as much time in the urban areas where I'm concerned about that. So for me, I love having lots of windows where I get lots of natural light in. Without natural light, it can feel like a little bit of a cave. The van can start to feel smaller. And with the windows, it just gives you the feeling, even when you're in the van, that you're kind of immersed in your surroundings because you can see out of them. So on my new van, I'm actually putting in an additional window. I've got the 2 rear windows. I've got a sliding door window and then a window opposite that one, which are both the C.R. Lawrence T-vent opening windows, which I didn't have in my last van, so I'm super excited about that. Another must-have for me is a fridge-freezer combo. A lot of people, I don't know how they do it, but they get away with no fridge-freezer. They just use a cooler and dry ice. That's impressive to me. I don't know how they deal with that. It would be a nightmare. And a lot of people don't have a freezer. Or they just have that little tiny freezer in the top that can hold, basically a miniature ice tray. For me, I like to have an actual freezer. So I like to use sort of the dual, on my last one I used the winter fridge. On my new one I'm using the Dometic, but it's got sort of 2/3 fridge and 1/3 freezer. The freezer, you'd be surprised at how many people, when you're traveling, look to you to carry the ice. Ice, if you're going anywhere hot, nice cold drinks. You can freeze meat if you eat meat. You can do frozen berries for smoothies. I like to do a lot of, activities. So my knees start to bug me. So I can freeze ice packs so I can ice down my knees after a day. So for me, a freezer, I love it. I'm also a fan of a top loader versus the chest style. It's just more efficient. You can get more in it. You just kind of jam everything in on top. It doesn't look pretty, but you can get way more stuff in it. I can go probably 3 weeks, depending on how I shop, before needing to do a grocery run. We do have a full blog post, which we'll link below, and that goes over the different kind of fridges and sort of the pros and cons. Again, it's my personal opinion, but that's what you're here for. You're here for my personal opinion. I'm not an expert, so check out that blog post. One of the last things that is included in all of my vans is I upgrade the tires. The factory tires from Mercedes, they are sort of a highway, run around the city tire. They have barely any real tread on them. And if you're going to do any off-roading, you're going to go on gravel roads, or you're planning on airing down your tires at all, you're going to want to upgrade your tires. I use the BF Goodwrench KO2 tires. They've got a super thick sidewall, so you can air them down without risk of, the bead coming off or puncturing the tire. And the tread's been amazing. My last ones, I got them up to 100,000 kilometers. They probably needed to be replaced a little bit before that, because when I did get new ones, the ride was night and day. But they were great tires. They got me everywhere. And that's why I got them. When I replaced them on my 170 van, I got the same ones. And on my 144, I'll be putting on the BF Goodwrench KO2s 100% before it goes on any real adventures. So I hope you found that information super helpful. Again, this is just all my opinions. It's stuff that I like to put in my vans and sort of why I like it and why I make these decisions. But you're going to have to kind of analyze your lifestyle and what you plan on doing with your van to make these decisions for you. But I always found hearing someone that has sort of been through it and, had the pros and cons, it just sort of helped me make my decisions even if I didn't agree with them. So again, be sure to check out our website. We'll put it right here. And if you've been enjoying these videos, I've been having a lot of fun putting them together, so it'd mean a lot to me if you took the time to click that subscribe button. That way you're going to get notified every time I put out a new video. And I don't have anything else to say, so we'll see you in the next one.